and the effort into being in Korea to play in GSL, this is a tournament that they can play in to help boost up some prize money that GSL now doesn't have, which obviously doesn't replace the GSL missing prize money, but it's aimed at those players because GSL unfortunately received the biggest cuts of all of the regions and all of the events that happened. So yeah, whoever is living in Korea is eligible, and even if you're in Korea for the day this tournament ends and you leave the day after it ends, or the day before it starts, the day after it ends, that's fine. As long as you're in Korea for the tournament, that is our current eligibility rule. I was actually asked, as bottom left creator and top right Maru, I was asked about the idea or the concept of letting some players who typically play on the Korean server play, because Nice actually contacted me and he said, you know, it'd be really nice to play because for them, actually when we're running these tournaments, the Korean server is quite dead because all of the players are playing in the tournaments, the ladder's very dead and they can't find practice and stuff, so it's unfortunately for them, it has a negative effect on them because there's a tournament that they can't play in and it's eaten up all of their practice partners. So for Season 2, I'm thinking about maybe kind of looking back on that. Obviously, we want to do it to support the Korean players, but I don't think there would be any harm, per se, in potentially letting players try and qualify if they're typically playing on the Korean server as their home server, but I didn't really decide on that exactly yet. That's still a work in progress in my mind, still something I'm figuring out, so yeah. Alrighty, so so funny, Woody's ruined the Korean ladder. Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't see this as a knock-on effect, right? I run a bunch of other events. I didn't think anyone would be upset, but I don't think they were upset that they couldn't participate. I just feel like it was like, they were like, hey, there's just a bunch of days we can't practice properly anymore, so it'd be nice if we also had the chance at least to play. So like I say, we'll consider that for Season 2. Like I said, I've not 100% decided on it yet, so. But a possible change, I'll probably take some community feedback on it as well. I don't think it would be a terrible thing to necessarily add in, though. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, into this one. We'll have ourselves a Stargate going down, and the Reaper's going to show up and just bop a couple of probes around as well. Nothing really too wild to start us off here. Most notably, Maru goes for the high ground expansion, following the factory quickly. So we'll have a few more units early, a bit more pressure, potentially as well. And then just the CC coming up behind all of this at the end of the day. So, yeah, really not that wild as we get started off. So yeah, the FPS will just drop off for 1 second here. Just gotta quickly fix something. That requires me to tab out. Apologies, I know there's currently no observing. Apologies for that. Alrighty, so we've got Corrado, obviously, with the initial adept. He is being harassed by a Reaper, and the Reaper has picked up 1 and now 2 probes. So 2 probes go down. A strong start with that. Not bad at all, as our Cyclone is out the front as well, and that's just chasing away any adept that might have been still lingering or lurking over here from an earlier point in time. It's going to see that Cyclone still hanging around, the few adepts at the front too. Let's see, the Twilight Council, the follow-up tech from the Stargate. This Oracle will have to be careful, obviously, with the Cyclone already on the map, very easily picked off if you send it a bit too far forward or in the wrong place or anything, so yeah, be a little bit careful with the Oracle. That's about all as our Stasis Ward comes up. And the 2 Cyclones and Marines together are going to go forward a little bit. It's a big push from Maru. I mean, this is a lot of Marines, couple Cyclones. I'm a little bit terrified for Creator, honestly, because this is the sort of push where, well, first of all, he needs a battery. It's actually the sort of push which is really designed to do very well against the Stargate. The initial Stasis Ward is already set off here, so I kind of feel as, okay, he might just die, no? A tank as well? Some SCVs? Okay. There's no battery, guys. I mean, that's just straight up going to be a problem, right? And Creator is going to get blasted at the front. You need a battery to defend against this with what Creator's currently got going on, and well, the battery's on the way, but obviously by now you've already taken position here as Maru. You're actually going to depower the Robo, which will depower the battery as well until this pylon gets online, which is just going to take a little while longer too. Cybercore will fall, and obviously this is just becoming more and more of a disaster, as that is going to be a very solid push. I mean, what is there to add? The battery gets taken down before it gets back online. Now the Robo facility will go down before it produces anything, and this is just going to be a very quick game number one. As, yeah, even a Liberator showing up too. Maru just full force into the natural. And Creator just, like I say, you can't really defend this with what he was doing. The Oracle didn't do much. Straight into a Twilight. That wasn't ready to go. Just everything, you know, Creator invested into wasn't made for defending this, right? So Maru wasting absolutely zero time again involved. Knocking down this base. And I guess he's going to probably take down the third base for good measure because, well, why the hell not? That just is the logical next step to go to. And the probes are going to pull in. And even if you clean this up, you're horribly behind here as Creator. A couple of the SCVs that were pulled across the map now going down as Maru lost almost nothing. He's only just now gone beyond 1,000 resources lost. And that's going to be GG's. Maru is going to take the first game of this best of 3 with pretty much immediate effect. Maru, convincing, solid, and a couple things. As we have in the bottom right, down a map, it will be the Red Protoss Creator. Creator takes on the blue Terran in the top left corner of the map, Maru. Game 2 of our best of 3 then. Didn't really go too in-depth in the last game, I guess, until it was kind of happening, but again, Maru opened straight to the Cyclone, straight to Marines after the Reaper. You know, it was the double gas before expanding, so it's a faster factory, and then on top of that, he didn't waste time with the Hellion, so he had a lot of power in it just straight away. That's the kind of thing that as Creator, you lose a couple probes to the Reaper as well, and you're a little bit knocked off. It's just the kind of build you're not meant to hold a third base against. Never mind hold a natural if you just don't have a battery. Like, you need units, you need defenses. And for Maru, it was just absolutely perfect. You know, Creator played a single, a couple Stargate units, and they didn't do anything because so many Marines, so many Cyclones. Pretty rough. So here we are on game number 2, Dragon Scales, and see what trouble we get up to. As Creator, obviously coming in as a bit of an underdog, but hey man, he came in with a big win early on today. If you weren't here earlier, Creator's already dusted off Dark, so, I mean, tough first day for Creator. You come in, you play against Dark, you play against Maru, but Creator actually is able to say, hey look man, I came in against Dark, and I got the win there. At this point, even if he loses to Maru, I think Creator's got to look at this and say, hey, today was great for me. 2 of the toughest opponents of this group out of the way. If I just focus on finishing strong, I could get a very good seed into the playoffs. So, yeah, Creator having a fantastic opening day of the Korean Royale, I would say. I don't feel like he could have asked for much more than that. I mean, he might turn it around here against Maru as well. I'm just saying, like, if he doesn't, I feel like you've got to still be pretty happy with the day, right? So, yeah. Because I don't think anyone would have blamed a Creator who came in here and went 0-2 and was just like, well, he played the 2 toughest players. He's got some work to do in the next few days. He'll probably still do it. Now he's got that little bit of a better start. So that's really nice to see. Reaper comes back around over to the left-hand side. As our Adept will be moving in towards the main base and just trying to pick up some info. Again, we've got that factory first. Command Center following up. And this time, Creator going to play the Stargate, but with the Phoenix, which should be a little bit better defensively against some of these initial tech units. The Reaper is going to scout this, so that means the Phoenix that we're trying to stay hidden are not going to be really hidden anymore. Because obviously the Reaper, even though he doesn't see anything finish, you can, on a Stargate, actually see the producing unit. For some reason, Stargates are just so OP, they have to show what they're producing. It's a very weird and just unorthodox thing in StarCraft. I know it's like, you know, not everything has to be the same, but it's so weird that, like, out of all of the structures in the game, the only thing you can tell what it's producing exactly is, like, a Stargate, right? Which is kind of ridiculous. Kind of wild. Oh, a couple of Phoenix will start to move out. As our Marines, couple Cyclones are also going to move out, and they are going to get the initial lock-ons. Don't lose Phoenix Creator. They were stood still for a moment. Ooh. That is brutal. A lot of damage already, and Maru just coming across the map to maybe try and capitalize on that. You have our battery coming online. There's our couple of Cyclones clean up on the bottom side. Going to be seeing still the couple of Adepts getting pushed back. A couple of Zealots begin to go down. I think he's going to be able to lift up one of these Cyclones already. He's just knocking that out the way. And obviously the Phoenix is just way better in this scenario because you can take the Cyclones out of the equation. Let your gateway units then get to work on the Marines that are relatively underwhelming at this stage. And yeah, this is a much better situation for Creator as he gets a full cleanup. Will chase the medevac away too. Good defense. Obviously, adjustments made from game 1 to game 2 here, and a similar push from Maru from the first 2 games goes completely different directions. I wouldn't say it was like terrible for Maru. He didn't trade super badly or anything. There's a few Phoenix hang out over on the right-hand side. You see the rest of these Marines of Maru pulling back up the top into the natural. Another siege tank will, well, siege. And Marines still producing here from Maru as well as just getting everything set up. The 2 extra barracks continue to produce. It's going to be 3 racks in total. And obviously from there we can really power up. Obviously the benefit here from Creator as well is you still have these Phoenix that can harass now as well, so that's an added bonus basically. It's definitely a little bit of a benefit. There's a few Phoenix move back around up to the top. Just going to be seeing a couple of racks, stim pack, all of this producing. We do have our units of Creator hanging around on the left-hand side, so they're just going to be hanging out over here. Colossus chrono boosting in from Creator. The Phoenix so far haven't really been able to do much. Good defensive positioning from Maru to really be able to defend in a couple different places so far. Been a very good job there. Obviously, if you let those Phoenix get in and, you know, start to do a lot of damage, then it becomes quite problematic, right? There's a few units just set up on the bottom left. Just going to see a few Phoenix come in. Going to lift up a couple of these SCVs. 3-4 workers go down, and just going to see the Phoenix come back around. Marines will come up. Siege tank will move around as well. Again, 1-1 upgrade. Stimpack combat shield will continue to produce, and see how Phoenix still moving around. A couple of tanks will continue to siege. We do lift off an SCV or 2 here. Cyclone Marines continue to wrap around and just having, again, the combat shield upgrade coming up. The Stimpack upgrade still coming through. 1-1 upgrades all being produced. Destination scouts on in. Just going to see another Colossus coming out the front, just moving to the forward position, and we'll be seeing our bio army of Maru obviously getting much more powerful as well. You have that Raven that's so far survived the scouting and flybys of the Phoenix. It's one thing that often does go down when your opponent's playing Phoenix, so keeping that alive big, because now full of energy. Double Matrix onto these Colossi can knock them out of the equation straight away. As we do see Bio pushing forward. If Force Field goes down, Phoenix taking some shots. Colossi trying to push back and just seeing the tank continue to siege. She continuing to push away the Immortal. Immortal now that goes down. Big push from Maru coming through the middle of the map. Force Field traps a unit or two, and nice little grab Predator to get something of this. But he can't just stay in the center. He's got to back away a little bit and try and force this fight to happen in a bit more of a favorable position, somewhere the tanks can't just kind of fight from as far away. As the double Matrix, suddenly Maru's going to have to leap onto this army. The new Colossus not really joined in because Creator's so focused on saving his previous two Colossi. They do both survive. Maru uses this as a chance to get in position, though. Creator wanted to fight this as he came down the ramp, but with the double Matrix, that's not possible now. Even a couple Widow Mines getting to go off and doing pretty reasonable damage. The Nexus on the right side does drop. So no fourth base from Creator as he moves forwards here. He's got a few Archons trying to lead the charge in. Tanks will want to try and target fire the Colossi, and you can see the health in the left ones disappearing. The tanks do exactly what they're meant to. Target fire down the Colossi, knock those out, and with everything else, it just comes down to the Bio versus the Stalkers at that point. And, well, went pretty decently. No Observer to deal with these mines, though. If they get to come back online and fire again, obviously just some additional value to be found there would be incredible. There's a couple of mines still sitting out. The two Medivacs will boost around the right side and ready to jump into the main momentarily. So in they go. Two Medivacs unload, and a few probes will begin to drop. Widow Mine in the bottom corner will be trying to get burrowed up. It does go off into the Immortal. Medivacs will load and try and escape away. 5 probes going down. And again, these two Medivacs on an escape route up the right side. Phoenix chases in. The Medivac will fall. And two Marines. It's going to take some shots. Everything pulling back away to the upper left-hand side. Marines, Marauders, Widow Mines, Vikings. Medevac of 4 mines coming down the left. Obviously, at this point, just unloading a mineral line and try and pick up a couple of probes here or there. Be very nice as we unload here initially. 3 Widow Mines all burrowed up. 3 workers go down in an instant. Phoenix just whacks away at this Medevac that flies through. Obviously, 1 mine left over. So far, pretty well dealt with. We can even lift this one up with the Phoenix. Not the only Phoenix left it is. Obviously, they going down in the previous fight is an expense as well here for Creator. More lost. Makes it difficult to kind of keep going with everything. Because the Phoenix are a great way, you know, following that previous fight to shut down Medevac jobs, to get across the map and be aggressive again yourself. Bio knocks the Zealot down, just going to continue down to the south. An Oracle drops a little Revelation, just going to be seeing the Colossus firing through. A couple of Zealots getting to the front. Just going to chase that Bio Force away. Vikings, Bio, Ghosts. Going back down to the south. A couple more Vikings coming in. And Marauders and Marines producing in the +1 ship weapons. Coming up on that armory. Well, we have Ghosts here, and the EMPs are good. Forcing the super battery, which will at least heal up a lot of that EMP damage pretty swiftly. So we do have obviously 2 armies from Creator ready to perhaps come down a ramp and then engage from the left side. But Maru's position is good though, right? He's got the Widow Mines already set up. He's still got EMPs available. Super battery is now expired too, so you don't have that to help you here. As the first couple of Widow Mine shots, pretty reasonable, softening up a bunch of Zealots. Pretty much out of EMPs now, but these Archons are already melding. The few Vikings are not getting touched, which means they have free reign to just keep knocking down Colossi. New Colossus arrives from the main base, or from the natural. Trying to walk down here, or is it going to bother? At this point, I think this might just be a little bit too much from Maru continuing forwards. And that is going to be GG's from Creator. Maru takes a 2-0 victory and is going to win this one out. And he is going to open his WardiTV Korean Royale with the kind of expected result.